You know, a resume is your ticket to a job interview. However, one mistake might be enough for a possible employer to pass it over. And that's why we're talking about some of the biggest mistakes to look for on your resume. Randy Wooden is with the Goodwill Professional Center, and he joins us to talk about it. Good morning.
Good morning.
This resume is you until you get there. So you want it to be accurate and no problems with it.
And if anybody likes lists,
Yeah.
today's your day. We have six
Okay.
of the biggest ones.
Okay, so make note of this. Number one, typos, grammar problems. It should be, you shouldn't have to say that, but you really do need to check.
Well, you do, and really when an employer looks at a resume, there are two primary things they look for. One is this person likely to do a good job? The other one is, do I like the resume? Does it look appealing? And so to your point, let's take the first three and make those what I'll call the curb appeal of your resume. One is typos and grammatical mistakes.
Yeah.
You could be the most perfectly qualified candidate, but if it's littered with typos, you're out.
And you know,
that's it.
We check over things, but a lot of times that's for somebody else looking at it. We'll look at, you know, sometimes we don't see our own typos.
And spell check is only so good. Have someone else take a look at it.
Okay, you also mentioned dull and boring. You know, it's a piece of paper. How do you make it more exciting?
Think of the Wall Street Journal versus People magazine.
Okay.
Now, I'm not arguing content in terms of...
But they are laid out differently.
They are. Right. And so that curb appeal, make use of underline and bold and italicized and white space.
And that's easy to do.
It is.
It's easy to do.
And don't make your margins go clear out to the edge of the page. It just overwhelms people. And by the same token, that third point is to not make it 3, 4, 5, 6, I've seen 8-page resumes.
Oh my gosh.
Unless you're applying for a job in education, or maybe you're a scientist or a government position. In the corporate world, 1 to 2 pages is fine. Once you get beyond that, or you get a big string of bullet points or huge block paragraphs, people just want to glaze over that.
Sure.
They really do.
They're not going to read all the stuff you've gone over. Okay, content. What do we put into it? That's important too.
Two kinds of formats. Again, painting with a broad brush. Chronological, which is what most people use.
Okay, here to the
most recent on back.
Time-based.
It makes sense, especially if you're a round peg in a round hole. You want to stay doing the same kind of work you've done. It makes a lot of sense. But what if I decided I don't want to do what I do for Goodwill and I want to go out and paint walls, or I want to go do something different? I've got to figure out a way to move those transferable skills or functions higher up on the resume to catch the reader's attention. So that's where you go with that functional or
which is not
resume.
necessarily chronological, but it's going to paint you in the best way you want to be painted.
It pulls the skills you want to emphasize instead of the job titles and companies and duties. I may have done volunteer work in, let's say, painting walls, so it shows that I'm good at it even though I'm not paid for it in my regular job. A couple other quick points too. It deals with the content. You want to customize the resume. One size fits all works.
When you say customize, what do you mean?
I mean to read the job description, and again, as long as you're not lying. Minor
but tailor
detail.
it to that.
But yeah, you want to customize it and pull the keywords so they look at it and say, hey, this person has been exposed to the functions and the processes, maybe the software that we utilize here, so it gives them a sense of comfort that you're probably at least familiar with the work. But the third point, I guess, or in this case, the sixth item, really gets into accomplishments. Are you any good at it? I may have painted walls, but if I'm recognized by my peers as the best in the state or as the best in my company, that's a way to measure my talent. And so where you can, you want to quantify with percents, dollar amounts, number of people, that kind of thing.
6 things that I guarantee are going to make any resume a lot better. I got to point out, it's a big anniversary for you. 14 years, right?
It is. It was funny. I started here. I came in,
did the first interview with us here at Fox 8.
January of '05. And one of the sales team had helped to sort of set things up. And I sent her an email, and I called her, and I thanked her. And she said, Randy, don't get your hopes up. She said, they'll let anybody on once. But you know what? It was interesting.
But you know what? Over 14 years, you have helped a lot of people as far as refocus careers, find jobs, and things like that. That is a human element that is we don't mention a lot, but congratulations.
And thank you. It's fun because I'm an old radio guy, and I get to use the communication skills and the knowledge I have to really make an impact in people's lives.
It does.
Everything we do is free, so if you've got folks that might want to take advantage of our services, again, just reach out, and we're happy to help.
Thank you very much. By the way, if you want to get in touch with Randy, it's easy to do. Just contact the Goodwill Professional Center. Their information's right there, the website, goodwillprofessionalcenter.org. Drop them an email, procenter@goodwillnwnc.org, or give them a call, 336-464-0516.